If you're a history buff, you're going to love this story about the discovery that saved millions of lives. In 1928, Alexander Fleming, a Scottish bacteriologist, had been studying Staphylococcus bacteria in his lab at St Mary's Hospital in London. One day, after returning from a holiday, he noticed something peculiar in one of his petri dishes. A mold, later identified as Penicillium notatum, had contaminated the dish. But instead of dismissing it as a failed experiment, Fleming noticed something extraordinary. The bacteria around the mold had been destroyed, while the surrounding areas remained unaffected. This was no ordinary accident. Fleming realized that this mold was producing a substance capable of killing harmful bacteria, something that had eluded scientists for years. He named this substance penicillin. Fleming's discovery was initially met with skepticism, but he persisted in his research. Before penicillin, infections that we consider minor today, like a simple cut or a sore throat, could be deadly. Sepsis, pneumonia, wound infections, and even scarlet fever claimed countless lives because there were no effective treatments to stop bacterial infections. Fleming knew he had found something extraordinary and published his findings in 1929, but the full potential of penicillin wasn't recognized for several years. It wasn't until the late 1930s that Howard Florey and Ernst, working at the University of Oxford, took Fleming's discovery to the next level. They figured out how to extract and purify penicillin, and in 1940 they conducted the first successful tests on infected patients. The results were miraculous, but the challenge was producing enough penicillin to treat large numbers of people. The turning point came during World War II, when penicillin's potential to save lives on the battlefield became undeniable. Wound infections and diseases like gangrene were common killers of soldiers. With governments recognizing its importance, production was ramped up, especially in the United States. By 1944, penicillin was being mass-produced, and it became a game-changer for the war effort, saving thousands of soldiers who would otherwise have succumbed to infections. In 1945, Fleming, along with Florey and Chain, received the Nobel Prize for their work on penicillin. The impact of penicillin didn't stop there. It paved the way for the development of other antibiotics, completely transforming how we treat bacterial infections. Diseases that once claimed millions of lives are now easily treatable, thanks to this one discovery. So, next time you take an antibiotic, remember how a bit of mold in a forgotten petri dish changed the course of medicine forever. Alexander Fleming didn't just discover penicillin. He helped save millions of lives and revolutionized healthcare around the world.